So I want you to address this, because I see a lot of people spending a fortune on these colleges and companies saying that they are going to get me a job. I know you've hired some people who passed out of that college. I want to know why you hired some of them who passed out of that college. At the same time, I also want you to tell me, would you even consider somebody who's got a this EdTech certification, which I can very well do it in Photoshop.
See, I'm gonna be honest, right? So if I'm hiring, I don't look at certifications. I don't look at certifications. I don't look at which college they are from. When initially I started looking, yeah, this is a tier one college. Yeah, this guy must be good, and yeah, that's how I used to screen. But after interviewing a lot of people, I understood that yeah, more than their credentials, it's what they know is more important, and basically their attitude is very important. Uh, See, I'm all up for people learning. You spend as much, you learn. But once you learn, don't just put that certificate. Show me that you know what you have learned, right? If you are not able to explain or show that this thing I've learned is I know all about it, it's not going to be useful for me. And it's not going to be useful for him as well. It's just there for the sake of being there.
So how I see that is that they enrolled in some random college with for a B. They got out of college and then they realized that they did not get a job. After that, now this edtech companies are again making bakra out of all these people, saying that you come here, we'll give you a certification, then we'll get you a job. So
Yeah, so do a certification, but apply that, no? Apply the learning somewhere. So it's not like 10 years back, if you learn something, there are many places on the internet for you to apply those things. Just take an example of data science, right? So when I started, there is nothing out there in data science or analytics, but then Kaggle started. So if you want to be a data scientist, start downloading data from Kaggle and start uploading your submissions. Even if you are last on the leaderboard, if you are
still
there,
have a place on the board.
yeah, you still have a place on the board. And I appreciate that more than people from IIT doing nothing.
So I will, I'll tell you from our record. I had this value proposition once. One guy came and he said, "We have these, really desperate folks who are stuck in their career, not able to move. 5 years, 10 years in some random IT company doing some BPM or or some random processing, and these guys are, they are willing to give you money. Okay, so you go ahead and then get them on board, and then you change your website to offering all data science these things, service offerings. So when somebody comes up to your website, they'll know that you have all these data science offerings, and then you give them experience certificates. We have backdoor ways to place these people inside, so I will get a cut and I will pass a cut on to you, and then we will get all these people. But in 4 or 5 years, people will figure out in the industry ki ye company se log aa raha hai, so I will not take them. Then what you do is you open up another entity, or 2-3 years before only open up, so that entity doesn't look new. So when you see that there is more rejections, you switch to the next entity.
So this con job.
This is what was the value proposition. I said, boss, this doesn't align with my values. It's all right, I make decent amount of money, I don't need all these things, and I showed him the door. But this is what I see happening largely in industry. So you go and type a data engineering job, you'll find everything from 2001 till 2024, all the technologies on their resume, and every resume only the name will be different, everything else is the same. So
even in companies also spend a lot of money on training, giving them access to these online training portals, and they get outside trainers and all, right? It doesn't work unless the person is really interested in learning, right? So even in my previous company also, they got some subscription. LinkedIn used to have that plural site or something. So, and they asked my team to build an internal score to see how people are learning, and they want to utilize them instead of hiring from outside. We built a score on how we get on the how many articles they read, how many lectures they understood. But when there is a requirement and when we interviewed them, there's nothing. I mean, we can't use them. It doesn't work unless the person is really into it, right? So that's why having the right attitude in an employee is very important.
Sandeep, our experience is a little bit different here. So in lockdown 2020, we had a Coursera subscription for our students. The reason was like we were operating virtually, so we want our students to engage in something good. And it was there for 6 months, and almost 2,700 students, all second year, third year, fourth year students, they did 15,000 different certifications on Coursera. It was free there. And we observed the good result out of it. Like we observed a good placement, good average salary, good median salary, good number of placements, diversity of companies where our students are getting placed. And now we are again thinking to have this Coursera and stop another subscription for our students, because many of our recruiters, they're asking for the certifications, they're asking for the specialized candidates. As I told you, like many recruiters are expecting the day one billable candidates from the colleges. and again we have to fulfill the requirements of the
Sure,
recruiters.
yeah.
So
So I think the difference is mass hiring versus niche hiring,
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
If you're looking for large companies where they hire in hundreds or thousands, right, every year, uh, they have certain type of work to be delivered to their customers. That work demands certain types of skills and certifications. And if the colleges are encouraging students to go through these certifications, it kind of helps them that first level filtering and whatnot, right? And then they do their own standardized tests to select students, and that will work because then they'll put these profiles in front of their customers saying that these are all certified, so they can do this basic job on day one. That works for those kind of large companies who are involved in mass hiring. I wouldn't dispute that because I worked with large companies also in the past. But what I think Sandeep is talking about is of his experience working with smaller companies which are looking for niche skills,
Yeah.
right? That's what I am in the last 10 years, working for smaller companies looking for niche skills. And the expectations are very different there.